Get All righty, y'all. Hey, everybody. Happy, what is it? Thanksgiving Eve, I guess. How's everybody doing as you're preparing to hop on? Be sure you give StreamYard permission so that if you guys have questions, we'll be able to see them here on. See, here I go. Here on our end. Hold on a second. I'm gonna make it. And we're also live on YouTube. So, with that being said, hey everybody, happy Thanksgiving Eve. And go ahead and share this. I'm going to go ahead and make this public, even though it's in my group, it's also on my page. And share it out with anyone that you know that could benefit from hearing, from our guest tonight about holiday grief. Y'all, listen, my name is Jennifer Bell, aka J Bell, and I'm with Living Well with Jennifer Bell. And as a person who has recently lost her mother 2 years ago during the holidays, it's one of those things where you think about traditions, you think about the people you love and who you're going to spend some time with throughout this week. And so today we're talking about grief. Grief during the holidays, is a time when celebrations, memories, and togetherness abound, and can especially be challenging sometimes after like suffering a loss, whether it's the death of someone that's very important to you. It could be a breakup, y'all. It could be a major life change, just something that is not normally what you go through during the holidays. But the holidays tend to be, or sometimes bring that loss into a sharper focus. Now, one thing I was sharing with Jasmine before we hopped on tonight was I have chosen every time a holiday comes up or my mom's birthday, I have chosen to remember her in a way that makes me laugh, makes me smile. And I was telling her as I was washing my greens in the sink this morning, I was just thinking about my mom. And I was just like, she would be over there making the dressing, I'm cleaning the greens, and, just doing this like symphony dance in the kitchen, so to speak. But all the conversations and the laughs and sharing family recipes. That's how I choose to remember my mom during the holiday season. But I know for a lot of us, that's not always the case. And so I'm so excited to have Jasmine share with us tonight a little bit about who she is, her story too, because we have that in common. We both have lost our moms that we were so close to. But Jasmine she specializes in, the emotional wellness part. How can we get through this holiday? Knowing that we're missing our loved ones or breakup, like I said before. So I want to introduce Jasmine. I want to give her all the time. But listen, you guys, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. I'm going to be looking as we go throughout tonight. And then hopefully Jasmine can answer them for you, and stay to the end because we have a special treat that Jasmine's going to share with everybody as well. So with that being said, welcome, Jasmine. It's not our first time being together, but go ahead and introduce yourself, and we're going to hop into this coping with holiday grief.
Thank you so much for having me tonight, Jennifer. As Jennifer mentioned, I am Jasmine, and I'm an emotional wellness coach, and I teach women how to cope with the loss of their mom and heal on their own terms. And as Jennifer mentioned, I too am a fellow traveler on the grief journey. I lost my mom in 2016, so it's been almost 7 years. And despite the length of time that's gone by, each year I find myself, dealing with something different on this grief journey. And I feel that it is a journey. It's not an end destination. And despite how far we come in our healing journey, there are still things that will come up in those difficult times and difficult seasons that we find ourselves navigating. And often the holidays is a further reminder for those of us who've lost loved ones specifically. It's a reminder of that loss, because you see so many people who are spending time with their family and loved ones. And it often reminds us of sort of like this void and this absence that we have in our lives. So that's why I feel passionate specifically about helping women navigating the loss of a mother, but even more so, also helping people who are just trying to navigate the loss of a loved one in general.
Yeah. it can be very, very tough where you're celebrating, where you're very thankful. You know, it is Thanksgiving. I know don't only give thanks during this time, but it's more heightened during this time. But then, like you say, you do feel that loss every year, and a lot of times every day, but again, it's more heightened during the holiday season. So let's just jump into some things that we can do. Or some people say, well, you know what, they avoid the holidays, they don't even want to go around family, or because they're still hurting. So let's just jump into some ways that we can kind of start navigating the grieving process, into how do we acknowledge how we feel but yet still be present, because we're still here, and
Right.
we do have family members and others that love us and support us as well. So let's kind of start there.
So I think based on what you just shared, one of the most important things for people to do is to not completely I'm sorry, isolate yourself from the rest of the world. I know that it can be challenging having to talk to other people, and you may be getting phone calls and text messages and invitations to holiday parties and gatherings, and it may really just feel like overwhelming, where you may feel as though I don't even really feel like spending time with a lot of different people. I don't really want to take all of these calls. I don't know how to say no. I don't feel comfortable going to this event, or I really don't feel like being around a large group of people. And that's completely understandable. And that's normal, whether this is your first season, coping with the loss of your loved one, or if you're 10 years out, or 20 years out, it's still normal for you to feel like that at times. So I don't want you to feel as though, something is wrong with you when you haven't worked through any of your healing process, because you can still heal and also still feel, triggered when these type of events come up. But try to identify at least maybe 1 to 3 safe people that you feel comfortable talking to, that you feel like you can be your most authentic self with. You feel comfortable expressing how you feel, and you don't feel like you have to put on a front or put on a brave face for them, or put on this mask to pretend like everything is okay, when inside you may not feel like it's okay. You may be hurting, you may feel a little depressed, you may feel some anxiety. There may be a wave of different feelings that you're feeling, but I want you to at the very least, one person, but if you can, try to identify maybe 2 or 3 people that are people that you can reach out to, and just let them know in advance that this is a rough time for you. You're kind of struggling a bit during this season, and would it be okay if you just reached out to them to get some additional support, during this time? So kind of just give them a heads up. Hey, I may be reaching out to you a little bit more than, often. And if I'm not, can you check on me to make sure that I'm okay? Just to make sure that I'm not at home. I'm not, avoiding getting out of the bed altogether. Just make sure, check in on me if I'm not reaching out to you. So
Mm-hmm.
I would start there.
Mm-hmm. That's a great tip. First of all, because isolation, when you said that, I remember a couple of times I'm like, I just don't want to be around anybody. I'm okay. I keep saying I'm okay, but I just don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to go anywhere. You're really not okay. But at the same time, I love the fact that, find you 1 to 3 people that you can trust, a safe place where you can talk. And I don't know, one other thing too is, once you do, say you're at the family gathering, and you get to talking, a lot of times you bring up old memories, and then people may say, may get like, oh, I forgot she lost her mom, or oh, I don't want her to feel triggered. How do we help our family members to know that it's okay to celebrate those memories and still keep myself safe? You know what I'm saying? Some tips on what we can say to other family members or friends, or do not talk about the person that you've lost or whatever, for fear that I may feel a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah.
do we kind of navigate through that as well?
It's almost like you kind of want to tell them, just be as normal as possible. Because when they're trying to, walk around it and avoid talking about your loved one, it makes it more awkward. And then sometimes it causes people to feel as though, well, they're not as important to you because you don't even want to talk about them. Like you don't even feel comfortable kind of inviting them into this space and allowing them to, hold space with us during the holiday
Mhm.
season
Mhm.
because you think that it'll be like too triggering or too painful for me. So I think one of the things is like just letting them know. I know that, I may have recently lost my mom or it's been, not that long ago, but it's okay for you to talk about them. So even if it was a husband or a child that passed away,
Mhm.
just letting them know it's okay, and I even enjoy it. Makes me feel good when you talk about them because it shows that you miss them too. You still love them and they still hold a place in your heart too. And I'm not the only one that's coping with this loss because a lot of times we can feel like I'm the only one that cares because it seems like everyone else goes on with their lives after the funeral,
Yeah.
or after everything has been done, in the aftermath. And then you feel like you're left to kind of pick up the pieces by yourself.
Mhm.
But giving them permission, to talk about them and hold space for them, and you even acknowledging them and bringing them into the conversation, I think that lets them know, like, okay, it's safe for me to talk about this and this isn't a touchy topic for them. But even coming into this type of situation with the best intentions, and you think that you may be prepared to talk about your loved one, but it may become too painful. And I
Yeah.
experienced this recently where I was out at a gathering for one of my cousin's birthday, and my cousin is named after my mom. And I didn't
Mhm.
realize until that day that even having to call her my mom's name was a trigger for me. I didn't know that. And she and another one of my family members were kind of like sharing, fond memories of my mom and how much she meant to them. And I had a moment where I had to just walk away for a second and get myself together because I got really emotional and started crying. And I didn't expect
Mhm.
to feel that way. And it wasn't that I was sad and it was bad for them to like bring that up, but it just sparked something in me and I needed a moment. And they
Mhm.
came over and consoled me too, and they understood. But it's okay when you have these moments, if you're at a family gathering or at a friend's house or something, and you need to step away for a moment just to compose yourself and pull yourself together. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good too. And then, this hasn't happened to me, but I was kind of doing a little bit of research and and I've heard it from other people when they've lost someone, just because it's the holidays and you got some traditions going on. And, well, my mama's name was Tony. Tony would do it this way, and when Tony was here, you're going to continue to do X, Y, and Z, like your mom or whatever. And it's kind of like, now, like I said, it didn't happen to me, but I'm just saying
Mhm.
sometimes you do feel pressured to, I don't want to use the word perform, but I'm looking for a better word, to
Carry
show
on.
up, to carry on those traditions when it could be a struggle for you to do that,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And so what do you do in those cases? I mean, I know we need to speak more and just talk about how we're feeling because many times we don't express with our
Right.
words, and then family members, they don't know. I don't think people are doing it maliciously, but
Right.
I believe they do it unconsciously because they're just not thinking along like that. They're just like, oh well, you're Tony's daughter, so girl, I know you can make that dressing or whatever, you
Exactly.
know.
And the expectation is to naturally carry on the existing traditions. So
Mhm.
I think that it's important for you to kind of just take some time and assess what feels comfortable to you
Mhm.
pertaining to the existing holiday traditions and rituals. Think about all the things that your family normally practices, and that can even be where's the holiday meal normally hosted. Maybe it was your loved one's house. And I don't know if you lived with the loved one, that may feel too painful with having everybody gather at your house. And then you're responsible now for cooking all the food and planning the meal or arranging who's bringing what, to the family potluck. That may feel really overwhelming right now. And
Mhm.
this will be a moment for you to speak up and, maybe communicate with a few other family members. Or if you have someone else who feels more comfortable being the mouthpiece and conveying the message with just saying, hey, this year, things are still a little bit sensitive. Maybe someone else can host the holiday function this year, and are there any volunteers? What
Mhm.
can I outsource some of these tasks that I normally did?
Mhm.
And just
Just
don't
ask.
feel like you have to carry on
Yeah.
as business as usual, and people will understand. And if they don't,
Mhm.
that's not your problem. But
Right.
you don't want to just agree to it for the sake of agreeing to it, and then you feel like extremely triggered
Yeah.
end up feeling like you're falling apart, in the midst of all
Mhm.
of that, just because you agreed to do something that didn't feel comfortable to you. So
Yeah.
it's important for you to,
Mhm.
express how it is that you're feeling, because like you said, people don't know. We assume that they know, or we feel like, well, they know us and they should know, but they don't, until we speak up and we let them know how we're feeling or how we need them to support us. They
Yeah.
don't know how to show up for us.
Absolutely. And of course, in a loving way, but again, they can't read our minds. And for many people, if it's your first person that you lost or someone close to you, and this is new to you too, so we don't know what to ask. But
Right.
I just want people, and the reason I want to share this too is just for them to be comfortable, understanding that it's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay to say no. It's okay to to laugh and have a good time. It's okay to be quiet if that's what you choose to do, right?
Mhm.
But again, that isolation. Ever since you said that at the top of this call tonight or this live, that stuck with me. Just don't be in isolation if you can, or get that 1 to 3 people that you have. Okay, so I don't want this to go very long. So,
I had something else I wanted to
tell
share
us.
as
Yes, I
well.
want you to share with us your tips and tricks, and just kind
Yeah,
of take us
the
there.
existing holiday traditions. So there may be some, holiday traditions that you actually did enjoy. So maybe just think of a few
Mhm,
that were ones that you feel excited about and that you think they don't feel as hard to actually execute. So
mhm,
maybe identify just one or two that feel manageable to you. And then
mhm,
just focus on practicing that one for this year. See how it feels, see how things go. Is there anything that you want to modify? If you decide to carry that tradition forward next year, but don't feel the need to have to do all the things, you
mhm,
know, with hosting the dinner, with decorating, with doing all
mhm,
these things, sending out the invites and all this other stuff. If that doesn't feel comfortable to you, don't feel pressured to do that. But if
mhm.
there's one or two things that, you feel like you can't execute, move forward with those things.
Love it. Love it. Okay, any more tips? Because I know you have something you want to be sharing with us too. I'm just giving you the floor. Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Next
And
one.
then also, I would even say give yourself an opportunity to explore if there are new traditions that maybe you wanted to, incorporate in the past and you didn't have an opportunity to. Now may be a good time to explore some of those new traditions, especially ways that you can think of to kind of like honor a loved one.
Hmm.
I would incorporate those things.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually. Um, oh, that's a great idea. I was just thinking about something because I was talking to my mom in love, and she and my mom were really really close. I mean, just in laws like from heaven, y'all. Seriously. And I was with her the other day, and she said it's still kind of painful to see a picture with my mom. We had a
Mhm.
family gathering at her house, and she goes, I still can't do it. And so also, giving those people space too,
Yeah.
know, and just because everybody grieves in their own way, and like you said, it's a journey and things like that. But I do love the fact that you would say maybe start some new traditions if that's something you feel that you want to do, and continue to celebrate your loved one. But I don't believe you always have to. Well, let me hold that thought to myself because that's just my own thought. I don't want to mess anything up here. So, as we're getting ready to close, I know you have something more than what we can talk about in this little time that we have here for those who may need that little extra something to say, okay, I need more than I hear what you're saying. These are great tips, but go ahead and share with us what you have to offer for those of us that need a little bit more information on how to continue to navigate through these holidays.
Yes. So I have a resource called the Holiday Grief Survival Guide, and it'll be released within the next 2 weeks or so. But this provides tips on how to navigate the holiday season. So I have a lot of different tips regarding things that you can incorporate to make the holidays a little bit easier for you. I talk about grief triggers and some potential holiday grief triggers that may come up for you, how to identify those triggers, and also how to mitigate them and reduce their impact on you during the holiday season. And then I also share some post holiday tips for you to kind of decompress and recharge after the holidays.
Love that. I love that. And so, let me see, can I get this right? We're gonna put it up there. She's gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna post the link below, but I want to just put it here. If you go here to the address on your screen there, you can grab it or at least have access to how you can get
Yes, they can
her
join the
guide.
wait list
Yes,
and
on
be
the wait
first
list.
notified as soon as it's released.
Yes, get on the wait list. I'm going to be putting my name on it, because some days you're really really excited and happy, and then you do have those moments because something will happen. And before we leave, I want to talk this last thing before we leave. You're at your family gathering, and everything's going well, and because this has happened to me before, all of a sudden I just burst out in tears.
Mhm.
It's kind of like something I don't even know what it was, but I just want people to allow yourself that time, that space. If you need to cry, if you need to go step away or something like that. In other words, don't hold it in. I feel like when I hold it in, I've done it once and when it comes out, right?
Mhm.
Just the emotion, the flood of emotions. And so when I feel it, I may get a little tear, like a song. One of my mom's favorite songs will come on, and I just stop for a moment and I allow myself to just kind of be in that moment as I'm
Mhm.
remembering her, and then just kind of and then keep it moving because that's what she would do, right? As they say.
Mhm.
So, any other tips you want to share before we close out for tonight's topic, coping with holiday grief? Y'all can do it. We can do it with
I
help.
would say celebrate the holiday season in a way that feels comfortable to you. Don't feel pressure, to carry on business as usual or how you've always done it. Make this a joyous time for you. It can be painful, it can be joyous. You may feel a wave of different emotions, and that's okay. Flow with them all, but just celebrate in a way that allows you to honor the space that you're in and also honor your loved ones.
Yeah, I love that. Honor your loved ones, but don't forget to honor the space that you're in as well. With
Mhm.
that being said, Jasmine, let everybody know where they can find you. I will put the link to the wait list down below in just a few moments. But how can people follow you, find you, etc.?
I am on Facebook under my first name, but I know that there are a million Jasmine Johnsons. If you would like to email me, you can email me at info@Jasmine, M as in Mary, Johnson, .com, or you can follow me on Instagram at Jasmine_M_Johnson. And we'll put that stuff in the comments too to make it
Yes.
a little easier to find me.
I love it. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate you more than you know.
Thank you
You've been
so
a
much.
blessing to me and me navigating through, my grief and the fact that we have a lot of things in common. I am thankful for you, and thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. And again, y'all, if you know a loved one, share this video with them. Have them get in contact with Jasmine if they need just some more resources. She's a wealth of resources, y'all, and she can help point you in the right direction, even help you with some of the things that I know that she's working on, has worked on by helping us navigate through the loss of a loved one. So, with that being said, thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate you for being
Thank
here
you.
tonight. And y'all, happy Thanksgiving to those of us
Yes.
that are celebrating this
Happy
week.
holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. Be safe. Until next time, y'all be blessed.